Since its release on November 20th, 2020, Season 1 of the Animaniacs reboot has had a lot of controversies. A Johnny Johnny Yes Papa joke was misinterpreted as a domestic violence joke, Brain gave out the number to a sex hotline, and of course, there's the upset over show creator Tom Ruegger not getting consulted for the reboot. Check out our previous video for more information on these issues. There's one issue that every Animani fan has acknowledged, and that's the reworkings of the original cast. Some characters were altered, some were limited to just cameos, and most were removed entirely. The absence of a certain character has got people talking, and that's none other than Hello Nurse. Hello Nurse was the main character in the original Warner segments, being the studio medic and the assistant to Dr. Scratch and Sniff. She was a sexy woman who gained the attention of everyone, especially the Warner Brothers. From her appearances, the quote, "Hello Nurse" became a trademark of the show.
Hello, Nurse!
Nurse was shown to be kind and maybe a little ditzy, but beyond that, there wasn't much depth to her character. However, towards the end of the series, Wacko sang a little song that changed everything. She was revealed to be not only beautiful, but incredibly intelligent. So, with all this being said, should she be left out of the reboot? Well, it all comes down to preference. She's not a character who needs to be back because she wasn't really much of a character to begin with. Although she's memorable, her having a high IQ was more of an afterthought than something planned since the beginning. She mostly exists just to be someone to catcall, and that's not exactly something that should be glorified in this day and age.
Hello Nurse might not land the same in 2020 as it did in the mid-90s. How did you sort of approach some of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, immediately Hello Nurse was, Goodbye Nurse, because, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what, you can't bring back Hello Nurse.
This is a show from the 90s, and obviously it had to alter things to fit into modern times. Heck, even the original show had to change some things. So now the question arises, could Hello Nurse have been reworked? Well, sure, but should she be? It's important to note that original show creator Tom Ruegger wanted Hello Nurse to eventually surpass Platts and become the new Warner Brothers CEO. That seems like a great idea on paper, and I'm all for supporting the creator's original vision, but she already became CEO in the movie Wacko's Wish. That arc is done, and it worked better because that was its own contained story. Yeah, she's incredibly intelligent, and I'm sure she can pick up on the trade paper, but to be the Warner Brothers CEO, she needs to have an authoritative presence, and from what we know about her, she doesn't have the mean bones in her body to really take on that position. She was occasionally annoyed by the Warners, but whatever harassment she endured, she would typically grin and bear it. The 2020 reboot can change Nurse's character to make this work, but at that point, why not just make a new character? Her own name is a catcall, and with her character being so heavily ingrained in misogyny, it's really hard to make it work in this day and age. Her becoming the new CEO is confusing at best, and at worst, it could be seen as a sleeping to the top situation. I really think we should just give Norita a chance.
Goodbye, Nurse!
And while we're on the topic of the show changing its female characters, let's look into what they did to Dot's character in the reboot.
We also updated, the characters a little bit more. Like Dot relies a little bit more on her wit and intelligence, and flexes her feminist muscles a little bit more.
The biggest change with Dot coincides with her intro line. She went from being cute to having wit, which was a baffling change. She, of course, is witty, but as many fans are pointing out, that's not a quality unique to her. Beyond her cuteness, her main quality is her confidence. She's cute and she takes pride in it. This line change seems like a very last-minute alteration. Dot had a song about cuteness, a song about how a pimple affected her cuteness, and in the segment Fear and Laughter in Burbank, Nickel Wise targeted the fears of the Warners based on their intro characteristics. He went after Yakko's ability to yak, Wacko's ability to pack away the snacks, and Dot's cuteness. It's odd that showrunners are trying to label this as a big change to make it appropriate for 2020. I don't understand why being cute was such a negative characteristic that they felt the need to change it. It seems that the showrunners are trying to give Dot the Webby treatment from DuckTales, but that's not necessary. When rebooting DuckTales in 2017, Webby's character needed alterations because she was a girly damsel in distress, and her femininity played into her weakness. At least, that's how the nephews often viewed her. But that was never Dot. She could do anything her brothers could do, and she knows it. And she makes sure everyone else knows it too.
Don't make me hurt you. I once took a mace class.
Ha! Mace doesn't scare me.
Wrong mace. I guess I'm just a weak and foolish girl.
A lot of criticism has been going around since Reboot Dot is very feminist. Though it can come off as hand-fisted at times, confidence has always been a part of Dot's personality, so by no means is this out of character for her. Despite the odd change in the opening line, I think the reboot is doing a good job at letting Dot be feminine and confident in that femininity. There is still room for improvement though, so I'm looking forward to what Season 2 has in store. So what do you guys think? Do you think the show's doing a good job at its gender-balanced, pronoun-neutral thing? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.